Lo-Fi Old Man Deep Dive, the Nashville Modcaster. Hello, tubers. The Telecaster. Of all the guitar types, the Telecaster was the one that took the longest for me to wrap my head around. In the early years of my hobby, I decided to assemble a Telecaster. I did that and played it, and I was underwhelmed. The output was the weakest among all guitars, even against the Strat and other random single coil guitars. I tried to modify it a few more times by changing pickups, including a T90, which is a P90 disguised as a Telecaster pickup, but I wasn't impressed. In the fever dream that was the pandemic, I decided to assemble a Telecaster that I liked. It went through several variations, but I'm happy with the latest version. Between then and now, I kept on seeing artists sing the praises of the Tele, the simplicity, the unique twang when both pickups are engaged, and it took a while for me to like the Tele for what it is. There's this romantic vision, a slab of wood and pickups, and that it was everything that a guitarist needed. Of course, we had to know how to play. I mean, it has no belly carve, no arm carve, and we all know that we are playing a tele because the edges of the guitar are cutting into our bellies and arms. It's like me hearing everyone sing praises about it and me not getting it. A lot of artists have their version of the Telecaster, like John Five, Jack White, Ry Cooder, Brad Paisley, and Jim Root. Perhaps the concept was about flexibility that we could make the Tele anything we wanted out of a guitar. The Nashville Telecaster. The Nashville Telecaster is a variation of the Tele with a middle pickup in between the neck and the bridge pickup. There are many variations of the switching configuration, either using a Strat switch setup or something closer to a Tele setup. The Nashville switching has 5 positions, and there are many variations depending on what we want. This Nashville configuration usually came with a B bender, which was a contraption that made the B string sharp by 2 steps by pulling on the guitar. This contraption was connected to the front guitar strap button, so in pulling the guitar, we would also pull on the B string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mods. Why would anybody want to modify a guitar? The first reason for modding is that we believe that the current guitar is somehow lacking in one way or another, and we can make the guitar better. Note that what we perceive as an upgrade may not be shared by other people. In the guitar market, upgrading a guitar rarely increases its resale value. Some people may even consider it as a blemish because it is no longer stock. So if we are thinking of selling that guitar one day, let's make sure that we leave it stock, or at worst, the improvements we have made are reversible so that it can be brought back to stock. The second reason for modding is that we are aspiring for a more expensive guitar and not affording that. We decide to modify a cheaper guitar to bring it close to the level of the guitar that we cannot afford. The third is we are searching for a tone, and sometimes we don't even know what we are looking for, but we're willing to go down a rabbit hole to experiment on tones in the hopes of discovering something new. I got into modding because relying on a luthier for every revision I was thinking of was expensive and at times frustrating. There were incidents when a guitar came back from the luthier, only to be disappointed because they had neglected to do this revision or that repair. And instead of sending the guitar back to them, I decided to do the revision myself. I also concluded that modding guitars would take my attention away from the market, and my free time was better spent on improving what I already had than going back into the marketplace after totally ignoring the guitars I currently had already. After 10 years into the hobby, having grown up, I take the guitar for what it is. No more mods. It doesn't have to have the best pickups. How do we know if we're capable of modding a guitar? Well, in my case, baby steps. I started with knowing how to set up a guitar. Action, neck relief, intonation, weight balance, just the basics. And after several sessions with a guitar that I thought sounded muddy or cheap, I started changing pickups. I did it the barbaric way by cutting off the wires at a strategic point where I could easily replace the pickups without opening up the whole guitar. In the beginning, my electronics was nothing but masking tape, so obviously I wasn't ready for soldering work. And then I learned soldering, not professional level, but good enough for my needs. And as the years went by, I got into more and more complicated repairs, like semi-hollow guitar repair and so on. When I started this hobby, I could not be relied on repairing a guitar without irreversibly destroying it. That was how bad I was at repairing things. Also, I understood that sometimes I wasn't good enough to fix everything in one go, so I had to leave it for a while and get back to it when I was more patient and had a clear direction on the work to be done. The build. I was thinking of a butterscotch Telecaster with a black guard, but I switched to wood grain to differentiate itself from the millions of butterscotch Telecasters out there. It also depended on what was available at the start. This guitar started life as a Squire Affinity Telecaster with EMG pickups. It went through several iterations until I got to the final version. The end result is what we have here, a combination of extra parts lying around and some bespoke parts that I had to order to attain the desired results. Let's go through some of the parts. The neck pickup is a Gretsch Broadtron pickup. This is the pickup used by Chinese, Indonesian, and Korean Gretches. Doing A-B testing between this Broadtron and the US TV Jones Classic Filtertron taught me one thing. If the TV Jones Classic Filtertron is a 10, this Broadtron is a 9.75. Yes, the Filtertron is better, but not by much. I can't remember what the middle pickup was, but since both the neck and bridge pickups were humbuckers, the middle pickup did not have to have reverse wiring and reverse polarity. This is partly why I do these deep dives to document the guitar before I forget the information. The bridge pickup is a Seymour Duncan Lil 59 pickup, which essentially is the SD59 humbucker disguised as a tele pickup. Going through several pickup combinations meant that I wasn't happy with the first experiments, otherwise I would have stopped at the first version. And I built that guitar before Jack White came up with this monstrosity, so this guitar's concept is solely mine. And slapping a humbucker into a tele has been done long ago, and the Nashville wiring started in the 80s. I usually add a vibrato to address neck dive issues, and that's the same case here. Of course, having a Bigsby around is helpful for those rare occasions it is needed. This guitar went through several sessions. It was not smooth sailing all the way. First off, routing the body for the middle pickup and routing the pickguard for humbucker wasn't easy. The roughness isn't visible, but clearly it's not professional work. Second, the super switch for the Nashville wiring was huge, so I had to remove some more wood from the cavity to make it fit. Here you can see that I left a gap between the plate and the body so that the switch wouldn't be squished. And here we can see that I was using parts lying around, two kinds of string trees and black tuners instead of the standard nickel-plated ones. I'm not quite sure what my reasons were in that fever dream, or maybe I just made a mistake, but the volume and tone are in reverse. The knob nearest me is tone, the farther one is the volume. I'm keeping it that way because I don't want to be going to the electronics again. Positions 1, 2, 4, and 5 are like how we wire strats. Sequentially, bridge, bridge and middle, middle and neck. However, the middle position, position 3, is the neck and bridge, just like the Telecaster. For clips, I've decided to focus on a couple of artists who use the Telecaster as the main guitar. For something old, I'll feature the Pretenders, including a recent song, and for something new, I'll feature Peach Pit. Peach Pit is 10 years old, but for a geezer like me, that's as new as I can make it. In the more recent songs, Peach Pit also uses a Dan Electro, but let's pretend it's a tele all the way. I might also feature a bonus clip at the end of this video. Most of the clips will be using the middle position, meaning bridge and neck pickup, just so we can check if it still sounds like a tele. If I'm using another pickup position, I'll state in the video. You can see that I have small hands and I play slow, so I just had to adjust. For the clip middle of the road, I had to reposition the guitar, including adjusting the strap several times so I could reach that pinky note with speed, and as you can see, I'm barely making it. And I also have to adapt. Some songs have more than one guitarist. As usual, the guitar goes into a Vox VT40X and shot with a cell phone. Verdict. So did I attain my goal to make a Telecaster that I like? Yes, I think so, considering that I've stopped modding the thing and it has remained like this for some years already. Does it have that characteristic Telecaster twang? You be the judge to that. One observation I have is that I think the humbuckers are too strong already. And the slab of wood, when I was new to this hobby, probably just like any beginner, I wanted all the crutches that I could get my hands on. Low action, great pickups, belly and arm carve, ideal neck profile, and just about everything that would make my playing easier. But as I grew older in this hobby, I learned to let go of many crutches and I just had to adjust. Strangely, as I was playing this slab of wood, I no longer noticed the absence of the belly carve or the arm carve. I guess that if we are new to the hobby, we notice those little things, but as we gain more experience, we focus on the playing and not much else, for as long as it is a reliable guitar. Just like a lot of people, there's a certain sense of satisfaction and attachment I get when building a guitar or bringing a guitar back to life. It becomes more special to me than just outright buying a guitar. There's a sense of accomplishment and pride when we can declare, I made this. You can also try your hand at modding, just take it one step at a time and make sure that you think things through before doing something irreversible. Baby steps. This is all for now. Thank you for your time and I hope to see you soon.